polite and cordial to each other,
right.
it's going to remain that way.
Right, right.
And also, and we'll hang out with her. Like before the movie, we're having breakfast at Mickey D's.
Mm.
We wanted to go to the park, but it had rained, and so
it's a little muddy out.
So let's they have a play area
indoors,
and that's also very important to me. Is my kids seeing us interacting
and getting along,
and
it's important. Kids need to see that.
And that's another thing is that it's I don't think it's. Like, the whole stay together for the kids thing is bullshit.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing to do. That will poison their future relationships.
Because...
Even if they don't know, they know.
Because basically what you're teaching them is that...
Healthiness and happiness are secondary to...
Someone else. Yeah. Something else. Like, and so even...
To some arbitrary rule.
Well, I mean, even if it's... your kid who you love more than anything, like you're still putting your own personal happiness, behind something else.
And that can't hold forever.
And so it's more important to me for her to be like, oh, mom's happy, dad's happy, like, and
they get along okay.
And like they're not together, but that doesn't matter as long as they're both happy.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
So The Last Outpost introduces the Ferengi.
Right, not in grand fashion. I'm going to put that on Front Straight. So
I enjoyed the first half of this episode a lot.
Until they get down to the planet.
Like, leading up to the, what's that?
What are you saying over
there? Just now getting to Star Trek?
What's the last episode? We've been talking about it for a while.
How long have we, what are we at right now?
We're about an hour 20.
God damn, this show is lengthy.
I
like it though.
The Last Outpost, we get the Ferengi, which they were intended to
according to Rob, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also according to the Wikipedia.
Oh, that they were intended to be like the Klingons of the Next Generation, kind of,
like the Klingons of the Romulans. Yeah, what?
They are nowhere near as cool as either of those races.
No, I mean they look kind of alien.
It's a cool production design, but I mean like the way they act, they basically are acting like
Planet of the Apes monkeys.
Yes, that's exactly it. Planet of the Apes monkeys who are also backstabbing like Judases.
Yeah. Well, it starts off there. The Enterprise is chasing this ship, a Ferengi ship that they say they've stolen like some kind of like energy particle proton pack, whatever.
Right, some piece of important technology.
And so they're chasing them, and then all of a sudden the ship fires on it, and the Enterprise essentially loses power.
Right, and the power's continuing to drain.
And so
they think the Ferengi have done it.
They're like, oh shit, like they got us right where they want us. And so they start talking to the Ferengi, and no one knows what they look like. No one has seen them.
Right, somehow, and this is something I just don't buy, is that somehow the Ferengi, they know a lot about them. They're not separated by some neutral zone or something like that. Other races can talk to them about them, but somehow they have no idea what a Ferengi looks like. Yeah. It's not like the Romulans where they're separated by a vast divide of space.
Yeah.
Even that's still a little iffy, but I can buy that. But the Ferengi, like, come on, you'd know what they look like.
Yeah, well, like with Romulans, so it's kind of like no one had really like fucked around with them. Like no one like right. They had no like they exist for sure, but like
there was a treaty, but nobody really knows.
But we haven't really seen them for a minute.
Right.
But these guys, like, they're like firmly entrenched in like that world, like,
and somehow Starfleet, which is basically everywhere and trying to learn everything. Yeah. I mean, that's their job, is to learn as much as possible.
At least that's the Enterprise's job.
Yeah. Somehow they don't know, but whatever. Okay, they haven't seen the Ferengi. Fine.
So they're talking. They're Picard and the captain of the Ferengi ship.
Right.
And,
the Ferengi ship thinks that the Enterprise has taken them out. That we already.
Well, yeah.
That?
Well, they're talking.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. Picard's getting ready to surrender.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we want to negotiate the surrender, and Ferengi's like, unconditional surrender will not be accepted, and so like Picard's like, wait, what? Like it's and the viewers are like, that what? Like, do you want a condition? Like, we'll accept your surrender on the condition that you
all wear funny hats.
Otherwise, no dice.
Otherwise, prepare.
And so then it's revealed that the Ferengi are like, okay, we'll surrender, but
we have terms.
Yeah, we have terms.
And Picard just
turns around and like does the whole like cut it.
Right,
Like,
he has Tasha cut the.
Which was hilarious. Again, I laughed out loud.
That was a great joke.
And so yes, they're both in this predicament, and it turns out that the planet that they're orbiting is
draining their power.
Yeah, what Geordi called is an energy something or other.
Energy
something that gathers energy. It's sucking the energy off
right.
off the
It's
plane.
like a battery. I guess.
And so, and then I guess the god of
he's not the god. He's a guardian who's been of a long dead civilization.
Yeah, I mean, he has like the powers of a god. It seems like
right. Yeah. He's like the Star Trek V. Why does God need a starship type of character? A very classic Trek trope. This sort of omnipotent being that shows up as a Zordon face in the air.
Yeah. So yeah, they go down the planet, like 3 Ferengi who are just monkeying around, just completely crazy.
Like, there's supposed to be a science expedition, right? Like, didn't he say we will also send down scientific officers?
Well, they also, they attack them. They attack they attack Riker and LaForge and
is Yara down there?
I don't know if she's down there or not, but
she is because she gets the drop on them later.
That's right. They get attacked. So I don't think and then Riker
and Data's there too.
Riker says you've betrayed us, whatever.
Right, you dicks,
you assholes. This wasn't what the
that wasn't part of our deal.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the deal. So the grandma death of the planet
materializes in physical form.
And at this point, Ferengi's like, dude, we'll straight kill these fools if you give us power to our ship.
Right.
And Riker's like, that's ridiculous. Like,
why would you do that?
And so the energy dude pretty much... well,
the Ferengi accuse the Enterprise of being a hostile force, and Riker says, yes, we are hostile with the Ferengi. So the Grandma Death, which is also in the script, apparently was named Portal 63, materializes in human form and looks like he's going to attack Riker. But then Riker...
Riker's like, Portal 63 is like, would you do the same? Would you destroy the Ferengi? And Riker's like, no. Like, that doesn't help anybody. Yeah, and so at that point he's like, dope answer. Like,
right, and there's some Sun Tzu quotes getting thrown around in this episode.
Fear is a true enemy, the only enemy, but little do they know, fear is a choice, so...
as we figured
enemies are a choice? What does that mean?
Enemies can be a choice, I guess. I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to make the choice. Like, I guess sometimes enemies are thrust upon you. Like, Japan showed up and bombed us.
I guess we'll have to fight you guys.
You have to treat them as an enemy once they've done that. So, I mean, like, the Enterprise was trying to be peaceful, and the Ferengis were like, no, but I also like that Riker doesn't flinch when Portal 63 does his whole karate move.
Yeah, he, like, has, like, the, whatever, like, the sword type thing.
A sword staff, a staff with a pointy end on it.
And then, like,
he does, like, a figure 8 move.
Well, like he's going to attack... Like, yeah, he does, like, some fancy, like, ninjutsu
old person
moves.
kung fu, aikido.
And then, like, he swings at Riker, but, intentionally misses him, but, Riker, like, doesn't flinch at all. He was ghosting.
He was ghosting. He was Shatner, is what he's doing. Like, it's very interesting how they've separated Kirk into body and mind in this show so far. I mean, they're definitely distinctive, but at the same time, at this point, all I see in Riker is, like, basically Kirk, but without the command.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And a little more level-headed.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't lose. He never screams on Captain Kirk.
I'm First Officer Riker.
He's a little more even-tempered, but I think that goes with the times rather than the show was made in the late 80s, which I guess, we've evolved a little bit.
So, yeah, Last Outpost started off dope, ended off, like, terribly.
It ends like an old Star Trek episode, like on a set filled with smoke, a few rocks, and a cheap matte painting of nothing. Or a scrim. Maybe it's just a scrim that's being lit a certain way. And an omnipotent being who tests the Enterprise, figures out they're okay, and lets them go on their way.
Exactly.
And, well, they also do a callback to the Tribbles joke at the end of that episode where they beam over a whole box of Chinese finger traps. Because Data's obsessed with Chinese finger traps.
Well, because he gets his finger stuck in one.
Right, that some kids had left in the conference room. It's also another interesting thing, the way children are always on the ship. Like, you see them in almost every episode, they go out of their way once to remind you that there are kids here. And that Riker knows them by name, and he's like, Jeremy, Dave, out of here.
Like, get out of here.
You're never supposed to be
Jeremy, now you know you're not supposed to be in here.
We agreed. That if I let you have a phaser, bad first officer.
Next week we'll be discussing Where No One Has Gone Before.
Which I've already watched.
Men and women both.
Yes, I like
No
that.
one has gone before. I do like that as well. Lonely Among Us and Justice.
Very exciting. Hopefully, the first season, it's supposed to really pick up after the first half, I think. So I'm really excited to get through. It's kind of like season 1 of Doctor Who, right? You just get through it.
It's good,
and it's pretty good, but it ends stronger than it starts.
But
right?
so far, this hasn't been so good. Encounter at Farpoint was dope. I like that a lot. But this week's episode, overall, I give it a D, maybe a C.
I like what they're doing with the characters. The plots I'm not enjoying so much. But I will say I've already watched the first episode for next week's, and I think it shows a lot of promise for the show. The things they do in this episode I really enjoyed.
You also like the naked now, though.
I like this more
than the naked now.
Yeah, I wish they were naked now. Bunch of clothed motherfuckers.
Yeah, the Ferengi bring up a point about, apparently, Ferengi women don't wear clothes.
Yeah, and that's a horrible offense, the fact that they clothe their women, which will encourage
that's right.
men to unclothe them.
Tasha was down there because they're you clothe your women, making us, forcing us to remove them. The ultimate perversion. Or, that's crazy.
That's a total, dude.
You guys are
crazy. Naked aliens, bro.
You guys are crazy town.
All right. I'm exhausted.
What do you... so next week we'll be back with some more Trek Talk. Those 3 aforementioned episodes.
Yes.
We'll be discussing Sucker Punch.
Yes, we're going to watch Sucker Punch, which neither of us have seen.
No.
In preparation for Zack Snyder's new motion picture, I guess. Man of Steel.
Well, yeah, we would have seen Man of Steel by then. We're going to go see Man of Steel this Friday opening weekend.
So I guess we'll have 2 things to talk about on Sunday.
I guess we can talk about
Sucker Punch and then do Man of Steel a week later, so we give everybody more than a weekend.
What do we do that with Iron Man 3?
Yeah, we did a minute on Iron Man 3.
We did.
Do you want to do a Man of Steel minute?
Man of Steel minute.
All right.
So we'll have a Man of Steel minute. We'll be discussing Sucker Punch, which the only reason I want to watch this is because
Emily Browning's cute.
Emily Browning is so adorbs. No, I've read reviews that are it's not actually sexist. It's it's a statement on sexism. And
I know Zack Snyder's filmmaking style, and I'm going to guess that the people reading that are smarter than Zack Snyder, at least in terms of their thinking level. He's a beautiful visual stylist, but not much of a thinker, although Man of Steel looks very good. So.
But he's also got Chris Nolan backing him up.
It's true.
So
Chris Nolan and Dave Goyer, so fingers crossed.
Goyer.
I hope
what a
Man
Goyer.
of Steel is so good.
What a mensch.
I'm so excited. Anyway, Star Trek.
Trek Talk.
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Into Dorkness. On iTunes. Leave us a review. Leave some stars.
5
Tell
stars.
your friends.
Tell at least one friend.
Tell your homies.
If you like the show.
Be
like,
hey, I listen to this podcast. Yeah, they talk about Star Trek. They talk about masturbating. They talk about
parenthood,
parenting. All of these things under one umbrella. It's quite fascinating and
all for free.
All for free once a week. Listen up, and you can catch up. You can be and they've already done
they've done 30 hours of podcasts and 17 episodes.
Well, I'd say about more. Well, I don't know, about maybe 25 hours.
We've done a lot of hours of this because our shows always run long.
You're right. We can look it up exactly. Well, not exactly, but a rough estimate
of how many.
Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you so much for listening again. Facebook.com/Into Dorkness, iTunes, reviews, stars, tell your friends. We don't make money off this. We do it solely out of love and obligation.
We'd really like it if you'd love us back.
Obligation.
Yeah, we both have mommy issues, so we really need your approval.
Yeah, we need the attention. We love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. KO.
LLAP.
This has been an Into Dorkness production.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.